What was the cause of death of that kid at your school/university? Leukemia. It was her third time fighting it, and she was just exhausted. Passed from an infection after a haploid transplant. It was the 8th grade, and she was my best friend. I still remember my mom getting that phone call clear as day. It's been 17 years now, and I think about her all the time. A lot has changed since then, but I like to think that we'd still be close friends if she'd survived. My mom's a teacher. She lost at least 2 students in the past 15 years due to them having earphones/headphones on when crossing railroads at random spaces and not the actual crossing. They did not hear, and the coming train. She had a reaction to anesthesia when she went under for wisdom teeth removal and went into a coma. Died a few days later. R.I.P. Jen. My school had a few. Drowned in the ocean over the summer. Died in a car accident, died in a 3-wheeler accident, and died by suicide. The car accident and suicide were people I knew well. One was a close friend. It was a rough year. I'll never forget back in high school there was an app called Burn Book where students would anonymously post about other students. Real nasty and wicked things. Got to a point where people were posting explicit pictures and videos of other students. At the time we were all minors, and a kid got outed out as homosexual. He ended up jumping off a roof near my house. I wasn't close to the kid, but he was always so nice and respectful. One of the many reasons why I became an advocate. In elementary school, one of my friends did some sort of monkey challenge. I never heard of it outside of this incident, where he tried to balance on the railing of his stairs with a rope around his neck. He fell and hung himself. We were only in 3rd grade. I studied for my FRE 202 oral exams with a young lady at ASU in December. She had the slot before me for the exam. Saw her as she completed her exam. She was all smiles, last one this year. The first day back in January, the school paper had her pic on the cover. She had caught meningitis and passed over winter break. My little brother's graduating class lost 2 kids in 1 year, one to suicide, and one in a car accident. When I was a freshman in high school, a kid I knew, not well, was camping with friends near a cliff. He accidentally walked off it in the middle of the night and died. Murdered in their dorm room. The guy who did it I don't think has faced justice for it. He keeps delaying sentencing. My university didn't announce anything about it. We all found out from the news. R.I.P. Varenchetta. Brain cancer. In 2nd grade, my sweet classmate passed. She was the kindest soul. All she wanted to do was touch my hair, because hers had been gone for a while at that point. All of us, even the meaner kids, catered to her every need. We all wanted to be the one to sit with her during computer lab, hold her hand and walk her to the bathroom, or just enjoy her smiles as we read books to her. The sweetest girl, truly. When she passed, she comforted her parents as her last words. 2 students were intentionally killed in a premeditated hit and run by Hada Yoichi a few years ago. He's on our top 10 most wanted list, and no one has been able to locate him. One of my friends was hit by 2 cars on her scooter because a driver wasn't paying attention outside the supermarket I shop at. I wasn't there that day. Late last year, 2 female students in the dorm were using opiates to get high and fell asleep. One woke up and couldn't rouse her friend and realized she had passé. Kid was star running back for our region. Absolutely could have gone pro, but like most idiot 16-years, he went out with his older buddies one night and drank/smoked and thought he was Superman. Tried to punch the passenger of a car through the driver's window, and the driver floored it while he was halfway in the car. They shoved him out doing 50 miles per hour, and he hit his head on a curb, died on scene. Wasn't me, but a friend of mine. Her son was a middle school student in the Chicago area. He was evidently in a video with a girl his age doing something sexual that other kids were passing around. Details never did come out publicly, and the teachers got a hold of it. They took him to the admin office and got the school resource officer, off-duty cop, involved, who started questioning him without my friend's knowledge. The cop, of course, doing what cops do, got in his face and told him he would be. One girl went home for break and met up with an old boyfriend. Apparently, he was jealous that she was seeing other guys at school, and he shot and killed her. I didn't know her, but I had met her once through my boyfriend's roommate. Seems crazy at the time, I didn't know how to react. Now it just seems tragic. BC, it's almost 30 years she's been gone, and her life was just starting. I just joined a new school at the age of 7, after my parents moved areas. Even at that age, I could tell everyone seemed a bit off with me, even the teachers and other adults. Turns out that summer, just before I started, a boy a few years younger than me had died of leukemia. We had the exact same name, first and last. The only classmate that I know of passed away years after we graduated. She was a vet and trying to rescue some dogs from the flood in the town she lived in. It had been raining very heavily the night before, and that whole area was flooded. Everybody was trying to evacuate or get on higher ground. She and her mother went to save some dogs she had been taking care of, and the moment their car got on the bridge, it collapsed. They fell into the river and drowned. Her body was found kms away in T. Skiing accident. He broke his neck and was only 13. I went to his funeral. I was also 13, and it was open casket.
It was the first time seeing that.
My brother was that kid, sitting on the trunk of a parked car full of other kids talking. An older boy in the driver's seat thought it would be funny to gun the car to 40 miles per hour in front of my house. My brother held on, the guy spun a U-turn, and my brother went flying. Flight for life, and 3 days later we took him off the ventilator due to massive brain trauma. Now, since I lived around the corner from our middle school, everyone assumes still that my brother haunts the school. Oh, this one was so tragic. A boy in 9th grade saw a vehicle was not placed in park, and it was slowly rolling down the street. He tried to stop it, and he got crushed between the rolling vehicle and another vehicle. Absolutely tragic. Very beloved guy. My friend drowned in the river after going out drinking on his 21st birthday. The school implemented a Bring a Buddy program after that. At my high school, someone died by suicide by jumping off an overpass. At the time, my English class was reading Romeo and Juliet, and my teacher made the decision to have us stop it due to how it ends. She didn't feel it was appropriate. Jumped out of a window of an extremely high hotel room on NYE. Brandy Carlisle wrote a song about it called That Year. Little guy got crushed between 2 cars in the school pickup line. But worse was probably that girl who was murdered by her own parents.
It was a murder-suicide by the dad.
He killed his whole family before killing himself. 2 boys snuck into the ride section of the boardwalk in the middle of the night. One went down the super slide, the tall one where you sit on a burlap sack. Because it was dark, they didn't notice the chain across the bottom, and I guess the way he slid into caused internal bleeding, and he died. Edited, typo.